So we're going to keep the energy going. And oh my gosh. This speaker that I'm about to bring to us, guess where he's from? Guess where he's from? Mobile, Alabama. That's where I'm from. He's a big deal in Mobile. He's literally a big deal. He owns his own company. He's about 7 feet tall, standing next to me, so I will be getting off the stage before he gets on. He is athletic, poetic, energetic, with good credit, about 850 I checked before we got here. Dr. Cicone Prince, listen, he has his own business, CiconePrince.com. Y'all ever heard that name before? CiconePrince.com. And guess what he does, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to walk on off the stage. I don't even say no more. He introduces you to yourself. Come on, stand to your feet and bring Dr. Cicone Prince to the stage. Stand to your feet.
Nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me.
All the way up.
I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up.
Good morning, everybody. It has been so long since I've been on a stage like this. I just want to take a minute. Hold on for a second. Just got to soak it in. Soak it in. I am so excited to be here. I want to thank Dr. Michael Freeland, DJ Mike J, for allowing me an opportunity to come out and actually share with y'all some valuable information, which I believe is going to really help you in your mental real estate. Now, I don't know about your area or where you live, but I know in Mobile, our housing market is on fire because the inventory is low. So it is a seller's market, meaning if you have a house, you'll have 2 or 3 offers on it before you can even leave the bank. If you are in the market for a home, it's hard because you can't really find, because it's low inventory. Now, of course, the opposite end of that is a buyer's market, meaning that you have so many houses that are available for you, and you have an opportunity to kind of pick and choose which one you want. So what am I talking about real estate? I mean actual real estate. Because when we talk about the mental real estate of our mind, my question is this. What does your mind look like? Do you have more information to give out? Or do you have enough room to receive some in? So many of us, we really don't take a whole lot of time pouring into ourselves. Now, I want to, first of all, give yourself a hand for being here and for tuning in, for those that are watching live. Because you take an opportunity to invest in yourself. No one has ever made any sort of difference in the world without having someone pour into them. You think of anybody, any coach, any athlete, anyone who's made any measurable achievements in life. They've had a mentor, they've had a coach, they had somebody that poured into them, but they also saw the value of being poured into. As we look at the world in which we live, we can see that there's a need for people to see themselves in a better light. For them to see themselves differently. One alluded to it, but my slogan is, I'm Cicone Prince of CiconePrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. And you know, it's funny, when I walked in last night, someone actually, they said that to me, and I said, you know, when you sing your song enough to where somebody else learn the lyrics, you've done your job. You've done your job. Most of us, almost every song that DJ Mike plays, no one gave us the lyrics and said, here are the lyrics to this song. No, they just played it. And you heard it over and over and over again, and that's how you learn the lyrics. Well, when you consider what you hear over and over again in your mind, what are you telling yourself? Every time you talk, somebody listens. And that person is you. Even when you're in the car by yourself, even when you're around the house, when you're doing things, every time you speak, that person is you. So what are you saying to yourself? What are you feeding yourself? What story are you repeating to you? I know as a child growing up, I used to oftentimes wonder why certain individuals were more successful or seemed to be more successful. But what I also noticed is that they had people in their life that poured into them. They had coaches, they had parents that talked to them and told them right from wrong. I like what Greg said about, teaching our children, and you have to start when you're young. There's a Bible verse that says, bend the sapling while it's young. If you don't invest in your future, which our children are, you'll find yourself wondering what is happening. And that's really where we are right now. In our city, the city government has cut so much from the budget for after-school programs, for community programs. And they wonder why our crime rate is going up. Because these young people aren't being taught how to resolve issues. They're not being taught how to actually deal with confrontation. They're not being taught life skills. And so they are resulting into it's a do or die mentality. But if you take the time to pour into young people early, if you take the time to just spend some time with them, you can make a difference in their life. In order for us to fix our society, we have to fix our homes, our families. But that means that we have to fix ourselves. We have to fix ourselves. I'm a huge proponent of self-evaluation. Looking at yourself, understanding yourself, really questioning who you are, questioning why you do what you do. We'll ask questions of everybody else, but rarely do we ask questions of ourselves. My journey on personal development really started when I was in college. I was in a relationship with a young lady, and it went south. And I was trying to figure out what happened. Why did it go bad? I mean, I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to do. I was nice, I was kind, I was polite, I was helpful. But then I started to figure, I said, okay, Cicone, why is it that in 80% of the relationships you've been in, it was a female that ended it? What is it about you that just sticks in there just come hell or high water, what is it? So I started questioning me. I started looking at my upbringing, my relationships. What was it about being in a relationship that really just had me just like in it for life? But I learned something. And I tell this to people all the time. Your strength and your weakness can be the same thing. For those that are taking notes, write that down. Your strength and your weakness can be the same thing. See, I have a hard time letting go. Now that can be a strength. When I get a hold of something that's good. But it works against me when I get a hold of something that's not serving. When I get in a relationship or when I get in a partnership with someone. I had a business partner, I'm not going to go upstairs. I'm still in therapy now, Steve. But understanding what makes you tick. And doing that process, because what I found out is that so many people, they don't evaluate themselves. They don't spend time, I'm not saying that therapy is not warranted in some cases. But just a simple, why did I do that? Some people say, well, that's just the way I am. Why? Why is it that when someone stands you up, you just go off the deep end? Why? Why is it when someone forgets to communicate with you? Or they ignore you? Why does that just set you off? Why? And if you take the time to look at your childhood, to look at the things that you've been through, you will understand why. My wife, she oftentimes watches and follows people on YouTube. And there was this one young lady she actually watched, and she was doing a finance course. She was talking about how she budgeted and saved money and all of that. And she started to talk about she was in foster care because of an issue that happened with her brother being killed by a drunk driver back when she was younger, and the family split up. And she was having a problem saving money. And she wondered, why was that such an issue? Why is it so hard for me to save money? I know I need to do it, but why? But then she thought about it. Because when the family split up, they eventually got back together but for about a year and a half, they had all went their separate ways, and she was in foster care. And her foster parents were good to her, they loved her, they taught her, but they also instructed her on how to save. They taught her how to save. Now on a subconscious level, she associated saving with my family being broken. So even after family got back together and they started to heal into men, as she got older and she started to try to do what she knew she needed to do, every time she tried to do that, she was reminded of that pain from when she was a child. So I want you to take a moment to just think about the things that you've gone through up until this point, and how they have affected you. And how are you working through them? And believe me, it's not an overnight journey. It's not. But it's one that's well worth taking, because in the end, not only can you help yourself, it positions you to help someone else. It puts you in a place to where you can walk somebody else through a process that you went through. And then you can also encourage them and say, hey, look, I haven't graduated. I'm not there yet. But I'm still going. See, so many people, they want to stop. Why isn't this over? Why am I not over this? Why does this still bother me? It's a process. But if we don't learn it ourselves, how can we help somebody else? How can we communicate to them? How can we help them to understand, even as a child? I mean, because there are children that have gone through trauma. Just helping them, giving them the grace to grow. Giving them the opportunity to say, you survived it. And then you can turn around and you can help somebody else. All of us are going through something in our life that we can teach a class on. We can be a professor. We can teach, a doctoral program on some of the stuff we've gone through. My question is this: are you doing it? Or are you just saying, well, I'm out. I got mine, I'm good. Or are you taking time to really reach back and touch the next generation? I know for myself, it's so important to be able to help people to really see who they are. For the longest time, I really didn't have ability. And no one would even think and imagine that I had a stuttering problem as a child. I mean, I seriously had a hard time getting things out. But some of the greatest help I got came from my uncle when he told me, he said, Cicone, the problem is your mind is on sentence 3 and your mouth is on sentence 1. And you're trying to dump everything out. You have to pace yourself. You have to just slow down. And that little bit of advice, it helped me. It helped me to become a better presenter, a better communicator. It helped me to actually gather my thoughts instead of it being like a fire hose that's just flying everywhere. I had to measure and throttle it back. But I knew that I had so much that I wanted to share that I could not just go through life saying, well, this is too hard, it's too difficult. I don't want people to talk about me. I don't want people to say that I have a stuttering problem. Now, I'll tell you this, if I get excited, even today, I may even just stutter. So I try to keep myself calm. But I know that it's still that my point is that helping somebody else, helping them to see that, listen, you can get beyond whatever it is you're facing. You can get beyond whatever it is you're going through. You can make a difference in somebody else's life. And if you just realize that you're doing it for somebody else. I tell people all the time, listen, somebody's waiting for you to show up. They're waiting to hear your voice, your story, your impact. Because when I show up, they tune me out. They turn me out. I can't relate to him. He don't know what I've been through. He didn't come where I come from. He didn't have had the same struggles, but you. Your story, your impact, they're looking for that. They're listening for it. And when they hear it, they're going to gravitate to it. Somebody is hungry for what you have. Don't leave them started. Dr. West was telling us that you are the aspirin to somebody's headache. When are we going to step up? It's an obligation. When you've overcome, and I'm thinking of that scripture where Jesus was telling Peter, he said, look, Satan hath desired to have you that he may sift you as wheat. But I pray for you that your faith don't fail. And when you've overcome, I would strengthen your brother. Whenever you've come out of something, you have an obligation to help somebody else. Because the reality is, you didn't come out by yourself. Somebody helped you. Somebody encouraged you. Somebody gave you what it is you need to get out. Even if it was just some instruction, even if it was just a word just to get you past what you're going through. So I want to encourage each of you. Don't downplay the impact you can make. Don't. I don't care where you came from. I don't care what you've been through. Somebody is looking up to you. Somebody is. They may even be older than you, but they're looking up to you. Just even you showing up is a testimony in their life. To talk to them, to encourage them, to share with them. Somebody's looking for you. And if we're ever going to change the mindset of the people that we encounter, we have to start with ourselves. So my question is this. What is your mental real estate? How do you view yourself? Do you have more to offer? Or do you have more that you could receive? Because understanding that makes the difference on not only when you show up, but how you show up. I've been so looking forward to this conference because it gives me an opportunity to help you see that you have an amazing ability to change somebody's life. One thing I don't want you to do is to waste it. I know we tell ourselves stories about how we're inadequate. I don't know what to say. I don't know how they're going to receive me. They may not like me. Don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about it. You just show up. You do your part and leave the rest to God. Because in the end, that's what really matters. The help that you can give. The hearts that you can touch. The lives that you can change. Even if they never call your name, you know that you made a difference. You made a difference in their life and in the lives of the people that they're going to touch. I see one that has walked over to the wall. And I don't want to cut you off short, but am I time? Am I good on time? I'm just asking because I'm a stickler for time as well too. But I do want to close with this. When you think about your life, when you think about the impact that you have, think about the person that's waiting on you. Think about the person that's waiting for you to get beyond yourself and to get beyond your hang-ups. A person that just need to see an example. I just need to see somebody that looks like me and sounds like me, that can just show me it's possible. That's what you become. A physical manifestation of it can be done. So again, don't cut yourself short. Because you have something that you can offer this world. And I just want to be in the audience. I want a front row seat. I want to see you change the world. And I know you can do it. I know you can. And I also want to just take a moment and I want to thank Dr. West. The person that you see on the stage today would not have been possible without the contributions of that man. One thing I love about Dr. West is he creates an environment where it's safe to be you. He doesn't try to make you a cookie cutter type person, but he pushes you. I tell people all the time, hooking up with Dr. West is like hooking your wagon to a comet. That's what happens. That's you. And that was me. I never would have written 5 books. I never would have had 5 conferences. I never would have my own television show like I do now. I never would have had a chance to meet our illustrious host, Dr. Michael Freeman. I never would have had the chance to actually find another family. And I know for a fact, even in this conference too, by the time it's all over, we're going to feel just like that. Family. Thank you very much.
Give it up, give it up, give it up!
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.